Dear friends, good evening. Maths Aspirants is a collective of students, research scholars, postdoc fellows, faculty members of mathematics across India, initiated by myself in 2017. Apart from providing a discussion platform in WhatsApp, we used to organize several online programs like online problem solving sessions, webinars, discussion sessions, extra to help the students who pursue higher mathematics. As a part of the online problem solving session series, today we have a special session focusing on the forthcoming CSIR NET examination. And we blessed to have Dr. Kalika Prasad with us for the session. Dr. Kalika did his MSc from Central University of Rajasthan and did his PhD from Central University of Jharkhand. And his broad research area is number theory. Apart from a great academic records of publishing lots of research papers, qualifying exams like CSIR NET, and he is an Inspire Fellow. So apart from all that, currently he is working as an assistant professor in Government Engineering College, Bhojpur, Bihar. Apart from all that, he is doing many helps to the student community through his Telegram group, WhatsApp channel, and a website, Kalika Math. Through that, he provides lots of study materials and other informations regarding about different programs in mathematics to the student community. I would like to appreciate this initiative and the services done by Dr. Kalika. I'm very grateful to him for the helps that he is rendering to the entire math community. And I would like to express my sincere gratitude to him for being with Math Aspirants as a great contributor to our group. He has done one session focusing on CSIR NET in the last time. And I would like to welcome everyone to this program. And I am sure that the coming hour will be of really helpful in your forthcoming examination. I welcome everyone to this program. Welcome, Dr. Kalika.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for a nice introduction. And first of all, I would like to thank you for your initiative to help math aspirants. Actually, these days, most of people are busy in their own work and their duties. But apart from that, you are also working for upcoming researchers or those who are try to get a scholarship or try to get admission in PhDs or wish to do higher education in mathematics. So for those, you are doing a great work, sir. We are appreciating you, and also your contents are really beneficial for all of us. Even though I used to see your videos or already recorded lectures which other speakers delivered. So before starting, I would like to just put a light on whatever already covered by you since your program started. So because as I go through your videos already recorded on your YouTube channels, I found that if anyone want to prepare, even though using that videos, they can easily qualify. Means no need to join any coaching or no need to take any kind of help. Already almost all the solutions are available on your channels, and in a better way or explained in an easy way, so that one can get all the things is how we can proceed and what is a procedure to solve a problem. Okay, so okay, before starting, I wish to show it. Okay, I have to present first. So actually today we are discussing about preparation of CSIR NET, especially on the upcoming exam. So since it is a lecture, means it is a session of 1 or 2 hours. So in this session, we cannot cover problems or all the problems or all the related theory, but I try to share my experience and observation that if one can follow, then one can easily get into NET or get whatever they are preparing. So before that, I wish to show this is the channel of sir, and here they have uploaded almost all the videos which have been already covered. Means related to NET preparation, related to GATE preparation, and questions that are discussed earlier. Means for whatever important for CSIR NET, like linear algebra or real analysis or all applied subjects, or how to prepare for getting JRF, or how to prepare for PhD admission or interview preparation. So you can see here there are many videos where problems discussion and all the things are there. So one can also, who is preparing by self, this session is especially helpful for those who are doing preparation by self and have no idea how to crack it. So one thing I wish to say that as I observed, you do not need to put a lot of effort. You need to be tricky and selective. So by choosing some special way or a special trick to qualify, you can easily get into. So how? Then here starting. Okay. So here some videos are there. Some are discussed by videos of Mr. Lalit, who is a research scholar at IIC, and here they have discussed a lot of problems of last CSIR NET examination and also some CMI or other examination. Here, if you talk about the solution, then you can get a lot of solutions of latest NET examination, GATE examinations, or other equivalent like CMI or NHM or type examinations. So most of the solutions are available here. If you have some time, just go there. See the channel name of sir, where they have uploaded previous talks videos. Okay, this is just overview because many want that we can prepare or where we can get solution. So previous lecture, whatever sir have covered is uploaded here. Okay, before starting, okay, I wish to say what is a procedure, what is a marks distribution, and how we proceed. Okay. So I am just starting. Means as we all know that these days exams are on computer based, and it is well known that it is a 3 hours exam where there are three parts in the examination. One is part A is dedicated to general aptitude, where common sense and general aptitude questions are asked, and in part B and C questions are asked from mathematics and statistics. This exam is for both math and stat students. So both can attend it, and as per their knowledge, they can attend a specific questions. Like if they are a student of statistics, they can attend more questions from a statistics part. Okay. If you go in more detail, then in part A and part B, there is a negative marking, and in part C, this is the more than one correct option-based question. So there is no negative marking in part C. Okay, here I will show. In part A, there are about 20 questions where you have to attempt 15 questions. Okay, and since there is a negative marking, so you have to be selective, and your method. Okay, so I am explaining here. In CSIR NET, question paper are of 200 marks. Means questions are more, but you have to attend at most questions of 200 marks, where you can attend 30 marks from part A and get 75 marks from part B and 95 marks from 200. But it is not possible to gain at most marks from all the sections. So you have to make a plan for it. If you have practiced in previous days, then you get to know that if you do 5 to 10 years of previous year questions from part A, then you get to know that about 50% questions are of repeated patterns, not exactly repeated, but repeated patterns. Means if you see, then some questions are like statistical data, some are like there will be some data related to biological, and they will ask the some information. In some question, they give some tabular form, or some, they give means they give some tabular form where you have to fill information. If later I will show which kind of questions are asked in group A, means part A. So for part A, I suggest do not practice any kind of book separately for it. Just practice previous year questions, and for practicing, you can see videos on YouTube. A lot of videos are available on YouTube. Focus especially on NET and GATE questions, not others, because in part A, questions of NET and GATE both are almost same. So if you practice previous 10 years questions of NET and GATE for part A, then it is sufficient. I can say that you can get easily 20 to 25 marks from part A. Okay. So you have to be selective that, as I mentioned, that if you get 25 or 20 marks from part A, then if you have easy to score rest marks from part B and C. Part B and part C are your subject specific. If you talk about part B, then here major part B and part C, then major part is pure mathematics. And if you talk about marks distribution, so I will show it. Okay, so this is marks distribution for our subject. I have prepared this data based on previous 10 years. So I observed that for in unit 1, in part B and part C, there are 3 kind of unit: unit 1, unit 2, unit 3. In unit 1, they used to ask question from real analysis and linear algebra. And if you see here, then questions weightage are about 15 to 20, means they used to ask 15 to 20 questions from real analysis, 15 to 20 questions from linear algebra. If you talk about marks, then you can get about 45 to 73 marks from real analysis and 41 to 75 marks from linear algebra. At most, if you observe, then if you you are able to solve all the questions from real analysis and linear algebra, then you can easily qualify the JRF. But practically, it is not possible to get the most marks, because there are a lot of problems we can be not easily solved in the examination. Okay, so for that you have to be selective in the examination, that first you have to solve those questions which can be easily answered, and then come on the difficult questions. Okay, if you talk about unit 2, then in unit 2 they used to ask question from abstract algebra, number theory, complex analysis, topology. If you talk about number theory, then it is counted under the abstract algebra. So from abstract algebra, they used to ask about 25 to 54 marks, or you may say 53 marks, or at most you may say 50 marks. So from abstract algebra, you can get 50 marks. From complex analysis, you can get 30 to 35 marks. And from topology, you can get up to 7.75 marks. And as I know, most of the students who are selective or who used to select pattern to qualify the JRF, they used to leave the question of topology, functional analysis, classical mechanics. But you have some knowledge or you have experience that how to crack the questions of topology or functional analysis or classical mechanics, then you can attend it. But I used to suggest that try these questions after 2 hours, so that you cannot kill your time. If we talk about unit 3, then unit 3, a major role is played by ODE and PDE, means from differential equation, you can get up to 50 marks. Dynamical system is also part of PDE. In dynamical system, some questions are given like a system of equation, and you have to answer about the nature or stability of the question. So this type of questions are asked in dynamical system. If you talk about previous year, so on average, in 3 examinations, if we talk about 3 exams, then in 2 examinations, there is 1 question or 2 questions of dynamical system. So this topic is also so important. And from this topic specifically, you can get up to 7.75 marks, and it can be prepared within 3 to 4 hours, this topic. This is one of the important topic of which can be quickly revised. And also numerical analysis is one of the important topic. For numerical analysis, you do not need to follow any book. Just practice previous year questions, and you get to know that there are many questions that are repeatedly asked in previous years. Calculus of variation is also one of the easy topic, and integral equation is also one of the easy topic. From these topics, you can get from 3 to 12.50 marks, means up to 12, or from integral equation you can get up to 12.50. So from these both these topics, you can get up to 25 marks. Okay. Since I am weak in classical mechanics, so I have not analyzed it. But if you see previous year questions, then you get to know that there are 2 kind of questions based on Lagrangian and Hamiltonian. So those who have knowledge in classical mechanics can try it. Otherwise, I have no information about it, which kind of question is asked. But whatever I know, Hamiltonian and Lagrangian questions is to ask from classical mechanics. I think my presentation is okay. Okay. So these are the marks distribution as I explained. And before proceeding, I wish to also show you cutoff, because you have to mentally prepare for cutoff. So these are some past data, and I have also cut off of the last year, last examination, which was held in. Hello. Is there any problem, sir?
No.
Okay.
No issues.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, as our past, okay, here you can see, I think it is clearly visible. So from past, you can observe that for JRF in general category, maximum was 119 marks, and then after it was on average 100 for general. Okay, only in 2020 when lockdown was there, it was 140, and in 2019 June it was 100 about 12, and this time. Otherwise, it is on average 100 this time, means it is 98.5 and this one. And for if we talk about lecturership, that is net, then for that it is under 90 in last these 2 years. So similarly, I have prepared here data for all the cutoff, and observe that there are slightly changes in the marks. Sometimes some questions are easy, then at that time cutoff was high. So many people used to ask that in June cutoff was high and in December cutoff was low. But I think nothing like that. If questions will be easy anytime, then at that time cutoff will be high. And if questions will be a little bit tough, then at that time cutoff will be down. So you have to be mentally ready that you have to at least get 120 marks. If you target for 120 marks, then your preparation will be well, and maybe by at least you can get 110. So by 110 you can almost up to the boundary of JRF. Okay, so these are data up to 2022, and recently this one it is for the examination which was held in 2025 in February and March. It was for December 2024 cycle. So in this you may observe that for JRF under general category, it is about, it is in percentage form, so it is about 100.50 marks. Means about if you are planning for a 110 or 120, then you can easily get JRF. Okay, so first one is for JRF, second one is for LS, and in this you can observe that maximum is 100.5, and here it is 87, here it is about 87 plus, here about as per your category you can observe here. And if you talk about LS, then there is a 5 marks down, and here also about 4 to 5 marks down. So your target should be this. Means as I used to mention that if you target for a 120, then you will be in safe zone. So I will suggest whatever you are planning, just plan for 120 plus marks, so that in worst case you can get 110, means you will you can secure JRF. If you plan for these boundaries, then it may create a difficulty for you. Okay. So okay, now I am coming to the okay. One thing I also want to mention, that you have to compulsorily attend every unit. Means from part A, part B, part C. From part there is A, there is no unit. In part B there is unit 1 and unit 2 and unit 3. So as if you are a mathematics student, so you can attend those questions who are related to mathematics, and if you are a statistics student, then you can attend the question of math and stats both. So there is no restriction that if you are math, then you have to attend only math questions, and if you are a stats student, then you have to attend only stats. There is no such restriction. You can attend any questions, but it is expected that you can attend more questions from your side. And there is no any information on your certificate or qualifying marks that you are attended from which section. So there is no any kind of such restrictions, but you can try from your side. For example, students of statistics also used to study linear algebra, real analysis, operational research, so they can attend questions from those sections. Okay, I wish to mention some easy topics. I think it is here. Okay. So if you talk about easy and scoring topics in NET, then here it is easy and scoring topic is number 3, where some formula based questions are asked. If you practice previous years, then you can easily get it. And easy topic is this dynamical system, this numerical analysis, this calculus of variation, integral equation, And in operation research, there are some questions which is used to ask based on graphical representation or some formula based, where primal to dual conversion is given. And means, as I observed in operation research, most of the times questions are asked based on each question. Means for this topic, you do not need to follow any book, just practice previous year questions. And for practice, you can see videos on YouTube, or a lot of solutions are given on internet, so you can try them. Also, you can practice any guide, and then after you have to. I used to suggest two most important topics from linear algebra and real analysis. That from linear algebra, question based on matrices, eigenvalues, and some orthogonality is most of the time used to ask. From real analysis, question based on series, where you have to identify the nature, means the series is convergent or divergent or oscillatory, or sometimes value of a series, means if you have given a summation, means if you have given a series and you have to find out what will be its value. Okay, so this type of questions most of the time asked from real analysis. And also there are many questions, some questions based on countability is most of the time asked from real analysis. Similarly, if you talk about abstract algebra, then most of the time question based on irreducibility is asked in the examination, where for irreducibility you have to apply some test. If you talk about syllabus, then syllabus is broad, but if you look on the previous year questions, then if you then you get to know that most of the questions are asked from some fixed topics. Means in examination they not used to ask question from all the topics, as I know. Means based on my observation, I observed that some topics are fixed in all the subjects where they used to ask questions. I wish to show you the detailed syllabus. Here it is. Okay, so here it is shown. So from real analysis, I want to just mention some important topics. There are a lot of things, but countability and uncountability is important in real analysis. From this topic, most of the time questions are asked, which can be easily marked in the examination if you have practiced. There are some discard method. I will talk about method of proving also in examination. So from this topic, most of the times questions are asked. From supremum infimum questions are asked. From sequence and series questions are asked. From series questions are asked mostly from convergence topic, and from continuity and uniform continuity, differentiability. From these topics, many times questions are asked. Also from uniform convergence and sequence and series of functions. From these topics, also questions are asked. Function types of discontinuity. From type of discontinuity, less questions are asked. From bounded variation, many times questions are asked. And if you look on previous 10-year questions, then you get to know that there are some certain foundation on related to where the questions are asked. This topic. I described earlier that the real analysis and linear algebra is one of the important part for the CSIR. Here, try to know that from which topic they are used to ask question from this subject. If you talk about matrix special, then in examination they simply give 2 or 3 matrices, matrix, and ask that what will be their linear combination, they will form a matrix or not. So this type of question are asked from matrices. Also there are questions based on compactness, connectedness, but most of the time questions are asked related to they given multiple matrix and they are asking about their combination. Okay, so these are some important in real analysis. If we talk about linear algebra, so in linear algebra, first of all, matrix theory is very, very important. From matrix theory, or if you have given a linear transformation, then you can you know that you can transform into the matrix, and from matrix we reach on the eigenvalues. So question based on eigenvalues and eigenvectors most of the time are asked. Based on Cayley-Hamilton theorem, means application of Cayley-Hamilton theorem, they ask question. Canonical form, quadratic form, and diagonal form. From these topics, they most of the time questions asked. From sometimes they ask the question based on the Jordan form, rank, adjoint. I will show you later. Okay, quadratic form is here. Sometimes they give a quadratic form and you have to identify its nature, like what will be, it will be positive, definite, negative, definite, or this type of information they used to ask. So from linear algebra, matrix theory is very, very important for your examination purpose. These are for unit 1. And for unit 2 in algebra, abstract algebra, I mentioned that there are many things given in the number theory section. But if we talk about from these topics, they used to ask question from in part A. Okay, these are not asked under the abstract algebra in your examination. From these topics, they used to ask question in your part A, where if you solve problems, then you can get to know that there are many tricky questions which you can learn by practicing. Okay. And from Chinese remainder theorem, they asked many times question and some formula based. So just collect some formula and make a collection and just do a quick revision in examination, for examination. Okay. And if you talk about rings, then they are question based on irreducibility most of the times asked. So this topic is very, very important from abstract algebra. And sometimes questions are asked based on the relation, means what we they give some information and ask which of the following is true, where there is a relation about maximal ideal, Euclidean domain, factorization domain, PID, this kind of thing. So for that, there are some formula. You just need to remember them. Do not need to know how it is appeared, because already in literature, I will show some books by which you can practice this subject. Okay. In complex analysis, question based on leverage theorem, and there are many consequences of leverage theorem. They used to ask from CR equation. They used to ask question from based on Cauchy theorem. They used to ask question, and there is some concept based on maximum and minimum modulus principle. From that from that topic, they also used to ask question. From Taylor and Lorentz series, also questions are asked. From conformer mapping, they give some function and you have to identify. So from this topic, they also asked question. From Mobius transformation, there will be two kind of function. The first, they will give to identify you, and in second, they give 3-point mapping, and they ask about the fourth one. So I will show how you can identify it. And in ODE PD, if you talk about PD, then question based on Lagrange method, Charpit method definitely asked most of the times if you observe it. Here they give either question and you have to identify the option, or they give means you have to remember these two formula. These are some formula. This is for linear and it is for non-linear. And in non-linear there are 4 special kinds. If you remember the formula, then you can easily solve problems in examination. If you go there in second order, then they ask question based on the Laplace or heat and wave equation. From these topics, also most of the time questions are asked. So this whatever I have mentioned from these topics, they most of the time questions asked. They are not dummy. Almost all the topics mentioned are important, but questions are in a tricky way. If you talk about numerical analysis, so I wish to mention that do not follow this topic. Okay, if you talk about Hermite and spline interpolation, as I remember, very few questions are asked from these topics, even though from Lagrange. Sometimes they asked, but very few questions are other. Questions from numerical analysis are tricky and repeated. So I will show which kind of questions they used to ask, and you have to practice only those questions. They ask some questions related to, they used to give some quadrature formula or some integral, and they give information that it will satisfy some polynomial of 2 order, 2 degree, 3 degree, 4 degree, and based on that they will ask some information. So in my suggestion, just practice previous year, and if you have some time, then follow this syllabus. But do not blindly follow this syllabus, because from numerical analysis, as I know, very less questions are asked from this syllabus. They fix their pattern and they ask question based on that pattern. And the same concept is for calculus of variation and integral equation. From these topics, some questions are like that. Even though you do not know the concept of linear of integral equation or calculus of variation, even though you can solve the questions, if you know the Leibniz formula of differentiation of integral, so by doing some differentiation or integration, you can solve problem of integral equation or calculus of variation. You can here a problem based on Lagrange equation. Most of the time questions are asked, and sometimes questions asked from the Extrema means where they ask about the maxima and minima, and they maybe sometimes they give most of the time they give in some condition, and based on they ask for a maxima and minima from this topic. And in a statistics. Okay, it is running. Okay, in a statistics, I used to suggest, if you don't know anything in a statistics, then try for a Markov chain. It is one of the important topic of statistics, and it can be practiced within 1 or 2 days. There are some concepts similar to discrete mathematics, or you can say some graphical or transition matrix, and there are some concepts like linear algebra and some path. By following that means this topic is very similar to mathematics portion of like a pure mathematics, and you can easily practice this topic and easily get marks up to 12.50. Sometimes minimum 1 question they asked every time, and at most they will ask 3 questions from this topic. It can be practiced by any book, or just follow previous 5, just solve previous 5 or 6 years questions, and you get to know that the questions are of repeated patterns. Okay, and from LPP, I also suggest that do not follow any book for this. Just practice previous year questions that are sufficient. And if you have knowledge of this queuing models, then you can try. Otherwise, I usually suggest to skip this. Even though 1 question from BIBD most of the time asked, but since the concept is lengthy, so you can skip these topics. So from this topic, statistics means from unit 4, where most of the questions are statistics and linear programming, LPP. You can easily get up to 20 to 30 marks by practicing Markov chain and LPP. Okay, and those who are practicing by self, I wish to show 2 books. There are many books, but I wish to show for abstract algebra. This is one of the best book as I observed. There are many books, you can follow anyone, but in this book, problems and results are given in an easy way, like you used to write notes. So if you can follow this book. This book is very good book, and it is by Kannur and Bhamri. Maybe you have heard in your graduation or post graduation. So in this book, what I observed that most of the results are written like a note. So you can easily learn, and if you want to know the proof, you can easily get it. In abstract algebra, sorry, in linear algebra, there is a, as I mentioned, important topic is matrix. So for matrix theory, you can follow this book. This is Indian authors Krishna Publications book. Here there are a lot of concept and formula and collections of results are given for matrices. And here I wish to show these are topics. So all these topics are very, very important for your CSIR net, for GATE, and some other PSC examination from there, like some PSC examination which is used to conduct for the assistant professor. So from these topics, almost all the times questions are asked from any examination which is based on the higher mathematics. So there are a lot of books for matrix theory and linear algebra, but I am suggesting this because in this problems are given in a notes, in a manner like we used to write a notes. What is essential for us, how we can proceed. Once you learn, you can practice in a quick manner. Okay, and this is okay. Cut off. Okay, now I want to suggest you to prepare a short note by which you can practice quickly before examination. You have to appear in many exams. First time, if you are first of all, if you are appearing in NET, maybe you have to appear in some interview or other examination for your assistant professor or any other jobs. Then at that time, your quick revision notes will also help you. So how you will prepare, just I am showing here, it is my notes of quick revision notes for real analysis, where I have mentioned just the result. For that, what I have to follow and what will be the result. So that whenever you will practice, you will easily get to know that, okay, if this type of question will be asked in examination, then what will be answer. And this is one of the topic of real analysis and complex analysis. If you talk about real analysis, then one question almost if you talk about in 1 year, then in 1 year 2 examination, in at least one examination, questions are asked based on the radius of convergence. So you have given some this kind of question, and they will ask about what will be its radius of convergence. So this type of questions are very tricky. Since if I at this time if I explain, that it will take time. Otherwise, if you see the question in examination and within the 10 seconds you can mark your answer. I do not need to remember the formula that for this it is this, for this it is this. There are some tricks which can be learned by practicing. So for example, I am just showing one. Here I have mentioned for first one that if there is a radius of convergence, so if there is a series like this, for now consider that Z is a real variable. So this is part of real analysis. If Z is a complex, then it is part of the complex analysis. So consider that Z is our real variable. Then this will be the series of real numbers. Okay. So here we assume that if any series, suppose we have asked about this kind of series or this kind of series or this kind of series. So for that, what we apply, if we have knowledge of this kind of series, then we can apply them. What is the pattern? Observe that here, if we know that radius of convergence for this series is R, and if you do k times power of this, then it will become 1 by k times of original radius of convergence. Means here, if radius of convergence of this series R, then radius of convergence, if you multiply some number in power of the in n, then that will be divided in the radius of convergence. For example, if you take k equal to half, then it will be 1 by half. That will become this. Okay, and there are many concepts like this which can be learned by practicing. If you multiply by any polynomial in this, means this is our Zn, this is our sequence, and if you multiply by any polynomial, means any power of n or combination, linear combination of n or some polynomial in the form of n, then that will not affect our radius of convergence. So in that case, again our radius of convergence will be R. Means if radius of convergence for original is R, then radius of convergence, even though multiplying by n to the power k, where k is any constant, its radius of convergence will be R. Even though if you learn this trick or learn the concept, suppose I have taken n to the power 5, even n to the power 4 plus n to the power something 2 plus 5, and I taken, means it is a polynomial, and an j to the power n. And if it is asking that what will be its radius of convergence, and I know that if radius of convergence of this series is R, then if you multiply by a polynomial, then it does not affect the radius of convergence of the series. So that in that manner, radius of convergence of this whole series is R. Okay, so you have to prepare short notes in this manner. So you observe that here I have mentioned that by multiplying this, it does not affect the radius of convergence, and again it is R. Some more results are I have also mentioned here in terms of polynomial. Look here. Here I have multiplied by a polynomial and divided by a polynomial, and observe that if original radius of convergence for this series, just I am zooming it. Wait. Okay. So see here, and you know that radius of convergence of this series is 1. Okay, and I said that if you multiply by a polynomial of some finite degree, then it does not affect the radius of convergence of original series. So in that case, here I have multiplied by Pn, then again radius of convergence this series will be 1. If you divide by some other polynomial, look here. If I divide by some other polynomial, then again the radius of convergence will be not disturbed, and again in this case radius of convergence is 1. Okay, so in this manner you can prepare your short notes, and since you know that what is the concept behind this, then you can easily practice your concept. And once you know, no need to practice, just go in examination, and if you see any question, suppose in this time a question is asked like what will be radius of convergence of this series, n to the power 3 n minus 5 something like this, and there is 5n 7 minus 2n something like this, and there is Zn, and we know the concept that this is the polynomial, this one is also polynomial, and radius of convergence of this series is 1, so this will does not affect, and radius of convergence for this series will be 1. And suppose they multiply 2 to the power in this whole series, then in that case you have to know that radius of convergence for this series is 1/2. So the radius of convergence of all the series will be 1/2. So in this manner you have to prepare. If you are preparing for examination, just do not go in the much deep in the proof. Just learn some concept and apply in the examination. You do not need to learn many things. So here, based on that, I have prepared some results which can be helpful for your examination. And even though if you apply log on here, earlier I have shown for polynomial, here I have taken a logarithmic, then again the radius of convergence is same. I have taken polynomial in place of n, then again the radius of convergence is same. So these are some concepts which I have mentioned. In similar manner, you have to prepare important results or concept from other topics. Okay, visible. So here is some important results I have collected for Riemann integrable. Okay, one thing I wish to show you that how you can make another result from your known result. So there is a method of proof in our theory, that is method of maybe you have heard in your discrete mathematics or whenever you have learned about the method of proof. So there is a statement P. Okay, so if P is true, suppose P is true, imply Q is true. So what will be its equivalent statement? If Q is not true, this is symbol of not Q. So Q is not true, imply P is also not true. And this concept is applied in most of the results in net and gain. It is one of the important way to easily discard examples. For example, I am taking an example of a series. We know that this series is convergent, imply limit of un will be 0. Okay, this is necessary condition, maybe you know all. So necessary condition for this series is that if this series is convergent, okay, if this series is convergent, then it will imply that limit of this un will be 0. Okay, so what will be its converse part? That if means I am taking that this P and this is Q. So P imply Q, means P is convergent, then this limit will be 0. So what will be its equivalent statement? If Q is not true, imply P is also not true. So means if there is some series whose limit is not equal to 0, then it will imply that that series is not convergent. So in that manner, you can develop many results, or you can apply your known results. Many times we know result, but we do not know how we can use it. So this is one of the methods by which you can use your known results. Like one thing I also wish to show, the result is that yes. Okay, there is for example, I am taking example of matrix. Okay, and suppose it is given that matrix, as you know that if a matrix is invertible, then definitely its determinant will be not equal to 0. If matrix is invertible, then what it implies? We also know that determinant of matrix is product of all the eigenvalues. Okay, so it implies that product of all the eigenvalues is not equal to 0. It means no eigenvalue are equal to 0. Okay, since it is product of all the eigenvalues and its product is not 0, it implies that this product means each and every eigenvalues are either positive or negative, but not any one is 0. So by this way, you can use results, whatever you know, to discard option. In CSIR net examination, many times we can directly hit the question by discarding the options. And I will try to show how it works in examination. Okay, so I just came here because so here I have just made a collection of the results, how we can use and how we can use for discarding options. For example, we know that in Riemann integral, boundedness of function is necessary, as it is mentioned in the definition. Let f is a bounded function, then whatever we use to discuss. It means if f is not bounded, then we cannot talk about the Riemann integrable. So for that, here, for example, I mentioned that if there is a function which is Riemann integrable on AB, then definitely that will be bounded. Okay. then what will be its converse? If it is not bounded, then it will be not Riemann integrable. So in this manner, you can prepare your results and just try to write in a minimum words so that you can make more collection of results in less number of pages. So here I will, if it is uniformly continuous, it will imply Riemann integrable, and we know that if informally continuous, then it will be definitely continuous. So in this manner, here we have mentioned about inform continuous. Here I have mentioned about the continuity, but all the results are almost equivalent. For example, if you talk about the ellipsis function, then it is if f is ellipsis function, then it will be differentiable, then it will be continuous. So if f is not Riemann integrable, it will imply if f is ellipsis function, then it will be definitely Riemann integrable, but not Riemann integrable implies not ellipsis function. So in this way, you can prepare your results, and they are I have mentioned some collection of results. Okay, so in this way you can prepare. If you are going to examination, just see the results and how we used to apply this, and by using this, you can, I think, easily made a more appropriate approach for your preparation. For each topic, I have written some important results. So I suggest just make your own quick revision notes and try to mention only important results there, so that you can easily discard questions in examination. Here I have prepared this type of results for from matrix aspect topics. So from this topic, less questions are asked in your net, but most of them are asked in GATE examination. So I mentioned that if it is compactness, then it will be leftness. If it is a second countable, then it implies this. So in this manner, I suggest strongly to prepare your own quick revision, and for that you can follow a standard book. And I will to suggest just try to follow your local author's book. As I mentioned, 2 books. Krishna publications, I think most of the book are written in a manner so that you can easily understand. There is one more publication, Pragati publication. Most of the book I read of Pragati publication, and get to know that results are discussed in easy way. Means by studying them, you can easily learn the proof. No need to take help of others. You can I cannot say about all the results, but almost about 50 to 80% results are discussed in such a way that you can easily know about the means their proof, that how the result appeared. Okay, so you can see here that which kind of I have prepared result, and in this manner you have to also prepare your own result. Okay, these are some results from real analysis. If you talk about linear algebra, so based on previous 10 years, which kind of questions are asked in CSIR net, I have prepared these important collections, important results. So in this manner, you can prepare results for your own preparation. Okay, a question based on system of equations are asked, where they used to ask about the solution, which kind of solution will be there. So you can mention like this. Okay, some results are here mentioned. So this is the just pattern, which kind of I used to suggest that just make this type of quick revision notes. One thing I also mentioned, which is very important for you, that in previous days, if you talk about questions before 2022 or 2020, questions are easy, you can easily solve. But nowadays, after 2023, or you may say that from 2024, or as I observed from 2022, questions are asked in such a way that you cannot solve a single question by a single concept. In single question, you have to apply more than 1 or 2 concepts to identify the correct option. Even though in the part B, I think I have not explained this. Okay. In part B, you have to mark only 1 correct option. Means in part B there is only 1 correct. In part C, more than 1 correct option is there. Okay. So here, if you want to discard, earlier what happens, you can easily apply a single concept and mark the or discard many options, and or easily identify the 1 correct option. But nowadays questions are like that. If you want to discard or find the correct answer in this question, then you have to apply more than 1 to 3 concepts. So it is a little bit difficult nowadays for part B and part C. So you have to learn a little bit more to crack this examination easily. Here Here. Okay, these are questions of, so these are linear algebra. Here I have, for example, I am showing some questions based on, as I mentioned that from field theory, questions are, many times questions are definitely asked from irreducibility. So we know that for irreducibility, 3 to 4 tests are there, and there are some conditions. If this type of polynomial are there, then we can apply this test. And for example, if there is a polynomial of degree 2 and 3, then we can apply root test. If root belongs, then we can say yes or no. If there is most of the time we need to apply Einstein criteria. Also, there is one result which consequence of Einstein criteria, where what we do, just replace x by 1 by x, and the corresponding polynomial, we apply this result. So just make collection. Okay, there are 3 to 4 tests for irreducibility, and questions are asked. They used to give a polynomial and ask that it will be irreducible or not. Earlier they used to ask like this, but this date they used to ask a question based on maximal ideal or some mixed type of concept, where you have to use concept of irreducibility. Okay, so you have to know this concept very importantly, and you have to make your own result or make your own collection or trick that how you can easily identify the question. One trick I used to share is that the FEPU ID. Maybe some of you have heard about it. This is the just from this topic, from this formula. Most of the time, one question is to ask in examination. From net or get, you can get one question which can be solved from this. At least you can discard 1 or 2 options using this formula. What it said? It said that just wait, where is it? Okay, so I said that there is a formula of I named it FEPU ID, means it is FEPUID. So in this manner, just prepare your result, how you can easily identify. What it means? It means that if you have a field, then it will be definitely Euclidean ID. Okay. So here, if there is a field, then it will be definitely Euclidean. It imply Euclidean domain, and if it is Euclidean domain, then it will imply PID, principal ideal domain. If it is a principal ideal domain, then it implies that it will be UFD, unit factorization domain, and if it is UFD, then it is an integral domain. You can also conversely use, if it is not integral domain, imply not, as I mentioned that if P imply Q, then not P imply not Q. So by using this, if sometimes asked if it is a field, and then what is the possible other options. Okay, so in this manner you can prepare that if there is a field, then it is Euclidean domain, and if it is Euclidean domain, then it may or may not be a field, but it is a PID. So in this manner, just prepare your own result and try to apply. Not only make your results, but try to apply every time whenever you are preparing. I have opened a question of last. This is question paper of last exam of CSIR net, and some other question I have shown was just opening. Okay, so here just I have opened some questions, and wish to show you that which kind of questions are asked. So this is GATE 2024 question, and this is CSIR net 2024 question. Okay. So here these questions are just based on your common sense or some general aptitude knowledge based. So where this for practice this type, just practice previous year question. There is no other way to practice it. If you are practicing from book, then it is very difficult to crack. But if you practice previous 10-year question, then observe that some questions are based on some repeated patterns. Okay. If you talk about this type of, then most of the time they used to give the most of them now. But about if you talk about last 10 years, then in about 30 to 40 times, 30 to 40% times, they ask questions like this. They given some data in tabular form or in this graphical way or in some statistical data, and they based on this they used to ask about either profit or loss or based on population. Sometimes they give some sequence and ask the missing number. Sometimes they give a word, or I have to identify a word, a missing word, or a similar word. This type of word asked. Here, similar questions are asked in this. This type of question maybe you can see in NDA or SCRA examination. There, this type of questions are asked. So these are questions of part A. This type of question is also asked many times, where they give some data or some pictorial view, and based on that they will ask what will be the possible this thing. Okay, and there is one question based on sequence. Here this time not asked. There is one question based on permutation or filling a number. Means they give they give some digit 1, 2, 3, 4 or something like it, and give they will ask about we have to form 3 or 4 digit number, and they maybe sometimes they add some condition that some two digit cannot be continued, or digit cannot be repeated. So this question is from permutation combination group, and this type of question are asked. Sometimes they will give some word, some letters like A, B, C, D, and they will ask to form a dictionary or number of words in a dictionary formed by these letters. So this type of question you can practice, and it can be easily practiced by other examinations questions. And this type of questions are also repeatedly asked. Okay. This is easy question. It is simply based on the injective. So this is this type of question is collected in the asked in the real analysis, where you have to identify. You have given a function from A to B. If you talk about the, as I mentioned, that make just a collection of results. So you have given A to B. Then you have to identify that what will be number of injective function, number of bijective function, number of surjective functions, how many there will be relation, how many there will be function. So I wish to show where is the result. Real analysis. Okay, show. Here made a collection. This will this your short notes will also help in other examination. As I have mentioned, so just collected. If you are talking about test, then just collected all the related tests which is used in our NET and GATE examination. And for practicing, just see one view, and you can easily remember them. I am mentioning about cardinality. Okay. Cardinality means number of elements in that set. So here I have made a collection. Suppose you have a function, and where it is. Okay. So what will be total number of functions? Where it is. Cardinality means. This is question of collection for cardinality, and from this topic also question is asked. If just number of look here, I mentioned this type of question is asked in 2011. That's why I mentioned that just practice previous year questions. Okay, here I have made results that I have a two set A and B, and I am making a function from A to B. Then what will be number of subset, number of relation, number of function from A to B, total number of relation, what will be number of reflexive, symmetric, binary, 1, 1, many, 1, injective. So just remember these formulas and apply them. You do not need to prove or try many things. If you remember the formula, you can directly apply in the examination. Otherwise, if you go through the proper way, then you may face difficulty, or you can take much time. Okay, so this question is based like this. This is also this is from set theory. Okay, so this is question based on your series of functions. Okay, so from series of functions, sequence and series, definitely question are asked in examination. I'm not discussing here how to solve and what is the formula for it. I am just discussing about the method of what should be your approach and how you can prepare for your examination. Look here, as earlier I was discussing about the radius of convergence. So this is question here. You have given a power series, and it is asking about its radius of convergence. Okay, so you can apply its formula that here it is given x to the power n, and it is given x to the power n, and here are some things. Since it is not a polynomial form, it is variable to the power variable. So there was no formula in my notes where it is mentioned about variable to the power variable. For this, you have to solve. So sometimes you have to apply the formula, sometimes you have to apply the tricks. Sometimes you have to solve in the proper way. Okay. Here it is talking about the determinant and rank. So number 3, I just want to show Markov chain question. It will be in unit 4. As a mathematics question all attend, but for Markov chain, whatever I am sharing, it is based on my experience. As I observed that by putting this kind of effort, we may make our preparation easy. Okay, this is your question based on dynamical system, where a dynamical system is given and it is asking about a solution. Okay. Okay, for it is about minimize maximum. It is from calculus of variation question, calculus of variance. Okay, this is question of your numerical analysis. So here, as I mentioned that in numerical analysis, they simply either give a quadrature formula or some formula and ask that it will satisfy or hold correct. It will be correct up to 2 degree, 3 degree, 4 degree, and then they will ask us some information based on that. So in this question, they given a they assume that fx is a polynomial of degree at most 2 and gx is a polynomial of degree at most 3, and it calculates this, and then based on that they are used. And if you talk about I will show you which kind of they used to ask. Numerical. I just want to show the pattern that I mentioned that in numerical analysis you do not need to follow the previous syllabus. You can prepare by self by practicing previous year questions. So a lot of things are there, but I just want to show you. Okay. Also, Newton option method is also there. Are many methods in numerical analysis, but most of the time questions are asked from Newton option method. Okay, I am talking about this type of formula. Here, look at they given a formula where integration involved, and they give some information about gx. That if x is of 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, here it is 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, 4. So they are asking that this integration formula is exact for 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, or 4 degree. Since this question is from part C, so you have to type options. If it was from part A, part B, then you can try from starting to give correct answer in just leave all the options. But since it is from part C, then you have to try all the options. As I mentioned, you can type. So what you do, just take this thing, put here and here. There is no any concept of numerical analysis. Just put here and there, and then compare both the value are equal or almost same. Then you can accept it true. Otherwise, proceed to the next option. So what I have done, just taken the first one, a plus bx, put it here and solve it, and I got to know that both the values are equal. Then it is true. And fifth, since it is from part C, so I again checked second option, and here I observe that it is the 2a plus 2c, and after solving this I get both these things are not equal, so this option will be discarded. Okay. And since this is from part C, so I have tried all the options. If it will be from part A, then after getting the correct answer, I leave it. Okay. You have seen this question where they gave this type of formula and asking about a exact polynomials. And look on the other question. This is from the root. This is also from interpolation. This is also okay. Look here. This is a same question. It was asked in 2019 December, and the earlier one was asked on 30 number exam. I think it was in 2022. Okay. Here again it is given same kind of formula where they give some information about fx and give a relation and asking about exactness. And look, again it is asked in part C. So again you have to try all options, but you have to make some trick. Like here it is given that the value of itna are given in these options, and it is asking about the exact polynomial of highest possible degree. So since there is no information about fx, so we start with the fx is equal to simplest form. First take x, then x square, and in this manner you can easily get your answer. Okay. So for first one, I started with the fx is equal to 1. Since there is no information, so I can take anything. 1 means a constant. Constant means a 0 degree polynomial. So I have taken fx is equal to 1 in this and this, and then since fx is equal to 1, so it will be a plus b plus c, and here it is integration of 1 to minus 1 minus x from minus 1 to 1, and then compare the value. So on solving I get 2, and if we compare ABC, and then it is u. Since these both the values are equal, so I take it as a correct answer. Again, I have taken part this option is for first one. Second, I have taken fx equal to x, then I have taken fx equal to x square, then I have taken x equal to x. If I get all the options, then I leave it. Otherwise, I will try up to 3 or 4 degree. Okay, because there is no information. So since this is asking about the exact polynomial, so we have to start from very simple. Just take fx equal to 1, nothing else. Other if mention something information about fx that there is some constant or anything, then think. Otherwise, I start with simplest form 1x x square like this. This is the procedure. I will again show that this type of question are again asked. Now this is from divided difference. This is not solving the Bhojpur method. Look here. It is asked in 19 June. It is again 4.75 marks, and again given a formula and asking about the value of ABC, so that the termination error in the formula itna is minimum. So what we do, just observe the pattern. Okay, and here look, there is no any restriction of fx. So again I start with the fx is equal to 1x, and look here I have taken fx is equal to n. Okay, and then proceeded further. We have taken x square, and in this manner you have to proceed. So this can be learned after practicing. Look here, this is based on the Newton option. Sorry, it is iterative. Sorry, I am showing for the repeated. Okay, so this type of question are numerical analysis asked. Okay, what was I saying? Okay, so if you are if you have joined any coaching or taking guidance of any coaching mentor, then you can follow their strategy, whatever he or she is suggesting. But you have no any idea, just preparing by self, then in that case I have two suggestions. Just to practice previous year questions, try to solve all the questions. You may ask that where I can get solutions. As I mentioned that for most of the questions, solutions are discussed by various speakers, and all the almost all the lectures are available on such YouTube channel. So from this you can learn, and I suggest do not only watch the video. Okay, from there just note down the concept and write in your own language. Suppose this faculty is explaining about a question that this will be wrong, or this will be correct or incorrect in this manner. So you try to write in your own way. Maybe you may get a difficulty that I don't know what is the concept behind that, how they use this concept. For that purpose, just refer the book. You can take any local author's book, as I mentioned. For example, here I have mentioned some books. For abstract algebra, one of the best book I feel that is Bhambre and Khanna's book, which I shown earlier. You can practice it, or you can keep it for your reference purpose. There are some books by Pragati Prakashan and Krishna Publication, and also many other books are there. But you have to feel that you have to observe that which book is best for you. This book is also good for preparation of competition, and in this book there are many concepts of group theory. So it is beneficial for those who are preparing for JAM, but not for NET-GATE, because in NET-GATE questions from field theory, ring theory also is to ask. Okay, for complex analysis, this book I feel also is good. This 𝐏𝐿 book of 𝐏𝐿 is available on the internet. You can freely download, and also explained in before way. Churchill's book is also good for you. So just keep some books in a side way. If you are not getting any concept explained here, then try to refer those books. Okay, I am not discussing any question because all the questions are discussed in detail in here by other speakers. So you can try them by yourself, which topic you are preparing. But my suggestion is practice previous year questions of CSIR NET and GATE. These two preparation will also help you in other PSC and assistant professor examination. I have questions of BPSC or Punjab PSC or Haryana PSC, and you may also learn some other PSC question. They used to talk easy question of NET and GATE. Okay, questions those who are mentioned in part B or of GATE, those easy questions they used to take in their examinations in PSC. So these questions will be also helpful in preparation of your other competitive examination. Okay, so as I mentioned, just prepare your quick revision. Okay, and you should be selective in examination. Do not start blindly and try to, if you are good in linear algebra or good in abstract algebra, so you are giving much time on that topic. Just try to fix that. You have to just divide your time. Divide your time that there is 3 hours. There is 3 hours for your examination, and there are 3 parts, A, B, C. So these are just my suggestion. Just prepare your quick revision notes, your own. Make your studies for selection of topics and question in examination, since very few times are left for you. And if you are preparing for next GATE or NET examination or planning, then for that just make a selection of subjects. That first you have to prepare real analysis, linear algebra, or first you have to prepare OD, PD. In that manner you can start preparing. And time management is very important for you, that you do not need to give much time on a single subject. If you are good in abstract, then you not put a lot of time on abstract. You have to equally give other subjects also. And if you are good and by preparing, you can select that these topics are important for you, and you can easily attend the question. So in examination, your selected subjects will be preferred. Okay, during preparation also do a self-evaluation, that how much you have evaluated, how much you have prepared, and how much you require to cover the other topics, and you can cover or not. So self-evaluation is also important. And important thing is also that there are Vinod sir, there are 3-4 group of discussion where you can share your query and discuss with others. That groups are actively other students are also used to quickly respond if you share your question, but only share your question when you really need. Not that you are preparing and all the questions you are sharing in group. I observed that I have also in some group, and whenever some put question, other people quickly answer and try to give, also give the hint that in this manner you can solve this question. So you can take help of discussion of those groups. Okay. So these are just my observation and my opinion on preparation of NET, upcoming NET examination. Okay, I think this will help you a little bit to achieve your goal.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Kalika, for explaining the preparation strategies and the techniques that can be adopted in the CSIR NET examination. So I'm sure that those who have seriously watched this session have got some ideas for their final, as a final touch-up for the exam. Yeah, dear participants, now it is time for sharing your feedback or asking your queries.
If anyone wish to ask related thing, since this is my observation and maybe some others' opinion may be different, but I observed that for qualifying examination, you do not need to know much concept and proof or another thing. Just you have to know how you can quickly solve the question. Maybe you know the proof and other things that in this may be proved, but in examination you have to you have to know the correct answer and you have to solve quickly and correctly, not correctly but quickly also. So for that there is a practice, and by practicing you can achieve it.
Yeah, getting the correct answer within a short time, that is the important trick.
Yes, because these days, as we used to teach in the classroom, we explain in subjective, but we go slowly. In competitive examination, you have to reach on the correct answer, and within a few seconds or few minutes. Means your approach should be quick and correct. That is very important for everyone.
Yeah, dear participants, feel free to share your feedback, or if you have any queries, you can ask it now.
Okay, for jam preparation, sir have a different plan. So in that session, it will be covered how to prepare for jam and what should be your strategy, how we can do by self preparation. So
Okay,
it can be discussed in the other session.
Yeah, we will arrange that session soon.
Since many problems are solved earlier by other speakers, that's why I left that portion. That what will be answer and what should be our approach. Okay, how to tackle part C question. Okay, for part C, you have to know the basics also, because in part C, you cannot reach on the correct answer by discarding. There is no any trick for part C. You have to learn the, as I mentioned that earlier days, questions are that if you know some concept, you can apply. But in these days, if you know few concepts, then you cannot discard all the options. In part C, more than one options are correct. Suppose there is correct answer is A, C, and D, and you mark A, C, and A, B, and C. Then again you will get 0 marks in examination. So for that you have to know the concept, and there is no any other shortcut for that. And other thing, as I observed, that practice a lot, and along with your practice, just make a short note. Also try to get some information and try to discuss with other. If you know, suppose you have joined any other group or WhatsApp group or Telegram group, and someone is asking any question and you know, then share your opinion that by this manner or by this way you can solve it. If you are right, then other will accept, or if you are wrong, and if you are wrong and any other will observe it, then they will correct you. So this is, as I observed, it is one of the best way for practice. And by this way, I have cracked JRF and NET at my preparation time. And these days, also whenever I am appearing for examination or studying anything for my other examination, I follow this thing. I used to discuss, I used to share my opinion. If I am wrong, someone correct me. And if I correct, if I am right, then other will accept my answer. So just make 2-3 friends, or make a small group of 3-4 friends, or if you are in some groups, then try to respond other questions. By this way, you will practice easily, and in this manner, you have to put a less effort. You do not need to remember.
Yeah, peer group interaction is having a very important role in the preparations.
Because whenever we are speaking, then we learn more. Whenever we are reading, then we learn less.
Yeah. And also there may be different ways for approaching a problem. So different people have different viewpoints and different ideas. So if you share the things, then it will be, sometimes we may get some easy way to solve the problem like that.
Yes, sir. Because if anyone is attending some coaching, then they may say that by this way prepare. That's why I mentioned that if you have joined any coaching, then follow their own mentors, whatever they are suggesting, because they are monitoring. We are just conducting some session for those who are doing self preparation. Means they are just studying but don't know how to reach on our goal. So for that we prepare in this manner. Some other speakers video are also available on Sir's YouTube channel, so you can also see them. You can learn from their experience and their suggestions, and you can follow whichever seems easy to you.
Hello, sir. Sir, I'm Archana. I'm a JAM aspirant, sir. Sir, your class was really nice, sir. I enjoyed the session, especially the part where you told about the strategies and focusing on self-evaluation, understanding the strengths and weakness of ours, sir. And I really enjoyed the session, and I'm eagerly waiting for the IIT JAM session, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Archana.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir. I am
Dharmendra.
Dharmendra from Kasganj, UP. The session was very nice and very explanative for every part of CSIR net and other also, and books also discussed by sir. I want to ask you some session for CMI, TFR, which are different from these exams also.
Yes. For CMI and NBHM and other related, I think Lalit and other speaker also covered their question and level. Because CMI, NBHM, TFR level
Yes,
questions level are different than NET and GATE. NET GATE questions are almost equivalent. SET question is below than NET and GATE, and NBHM, TFR, CMI's question level is above than NET and GATE. So for that, you have to prepare in different way.
Okay, thank you, Dharmendra. Others? Yeah.
Bharti Vasha is asking about the WhatsApp group. So you can drop a message to sir. Their number is mentioned on the poster. And also maths aspirant, you can search on Telegram. Then you can get the search Telegram link. You can also join sir there. From there you can get information. But sir's WhatsApp group is very active, and I am impressed from their students' activeness. As they used to quickly respond. Sometimes I also don't know the answer, that I know this question will be solved by this pattern, and sometimes I discarded two options or get to know the two answers, and other options are not known to me. Since I left the preparation of this as already I settled, so I try to how I will answer this, and suddenly someone's answer reached there that you can solve this in this manner. So in this manner also one can prepare their own examination by involving in the practice, means in discussion, that I know that this theory or by this result this option may be true. So you can revise your concept by involving yourself in discussion.
Good evening, sir.
Yes.
Sir, the
Bharati
session was
Varsha,
very
you can-
informative and
Yes,
Sir?
please continue.
so
Yeah,
the
please
session was
continue.
very informative and nice, sir. And and we got some good ideas to clear this exam. And sure, I need your mobile number, sir.
Yeah, it is
Can you please
given. Yeah, it's given in the brochure of the program, and also I will now
Okay,
share
sir, I
it
will.
in chat also. I will share it now.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you both, sir, for giving such a good session, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bharti. One thing I also mentioned, I think my network is okay. As many of you are preparing for NET, and some of you are preparing for JAM. Means some of you are want to means in upcoming time will be take admission in MSc, and some will take in PhD. At that time, you may need for how to prepare for interview. Okay, so on it, or maybe some of you wish to go foreign, and how you can crack or how you can take admission foreign university. Then on this, there is a session of a discussion where 4-5 speakers are there involved. its video is on search video YouTube. So you can see there, and also I just say that just give 2 to 3 minutes to explore the videos available on search YouTube, where you can get to know the things for your for your purpose, your upcoming careers purpose will be helpful.
Thank you, Kalika, for giving the nice comments about our programs.
Actually, sir, these days I am less active in NET group, but many of us used to ask that, sir, I am in final year of a BSc or MSc. I want to appear in this examination. I asked my seniors or sirs that how I can qualify this, or how I can take admission in PhD in this university, that university. So it is very difficult to reply everyone. Sometimes I used to reply, sometimes not. So since already we have made a collection and someone is making their effort to collect this type of information, so they can take benefit of it.
Yeah, we have arranged that sessions in this perspective, and also we had some sessions about the career perspectives in data analysis, which is of great current interest.
And your speakers are also from some are faculty at IIT, some are doing research at IAC, ISR. So speakers are well knowledgeable, not like some they are knowledgeable and experienced person. Even though you can take benefit of their experience.
Yeah, that is the main advantage of the programs arranged by our group. In almost all the programs, the resource persons are research scholars or postdoc fellows or faculty members from premier institutions all over India and also from abroad as well.
Yes, sir. That's the reason that the whatever data available here, all are genuine data. Means all are based on their own experience. As I feel I shared, someone is doing research in foreign, they share their own experience. So one who wish to do research or join foreign university can take benefit of that, because you put a effort on it, and it is not possible to conduct every time this type of session. So that's why the recorded session is useful for them.
Yeah. Any others would like to make any comments, please? Some of them are sharing.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Gayatri.
I'm Gayatri. I've done MSc from NIT Calicut, and it was a good session. And you've discussed about the important topics in the syllabus. I'm sure it will be helpful for us to do the revision. And thank you so much for your time. And thank you, sir. Thank you, Vinod, sir.
Okay, thank you, Gayatri. Yeah. So thank you, everyone. Thank you. I would like to express my gratitude to Kalika for being for taking all the effort for doing this session. And I take this opportunity to wish all the participants a great success in the exam ahead. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Hopefully in future, again, we meet in some other program. To conduct some other events for.
I always request your support for arranging this type of program.